Good group of folks with us today. Some of the regulars, Matthew hanging out. Also FSU Dave, but Geneva, her son John, first time guest here, hanging out here in the square in Homewood. We're right next to City Hall. If you've never made your way here to Social Taco, if you can't get in here on Tuesdays from 11 to 2, you can join them for half off happy hour, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. And don't forget about brunch on the weekends, 10 to 2:30 on Saturday and Sunday, the Bottomless Tapas brunch. You can't beat it. Our friends at Social Taco. .bar for more information.
You know, watching Hastings kind of come in here like a peacock.
He reeks of yuppie.
I mean, he just kind of walks in here and he kind of holds the whole room hostage by his effervescence. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Look how his hair's parted.
It's almost perfect.
It is. He looks like he's an Alabama grad, but he looks like he would fit in very, very well in Oxford.
Very much so.
No socks.
Mm-hmm. It's 30 degrees outside.
Slip-on loafers.
On. Yep.
Got his, I don't know, whatever slacks on, golf shirt, and then Masters Augusta National long sleeve pullover.
Looks good. I wish I had that one.
And he's got sun on his face.
Which means he's in the Caribbean.
Yep, he went on the family boat and did a quick skip across the Caribbean to his family's vacation home where they holiday.
You know, speaking of vacation homes, our next guest, he likes to vacation in Greece. Remember a couple times, what was it, like back-to-back weeks, he joined the show on some Greek island somewhere.
He was on the island of Crete.
Was he? Is that where he was?
Or something that ends in os.
Joining us now, Demetri. We like to call him Meat.
Meat.
From SEC Unfiltered. So which island were you on? Was that Hedonism? Where were you?
Yeah, when I talked to you, I was on the mainland of Greece in a town called Volos. Literally the opposite of what you see on all the postcards.
Just the opposite. What do you mean?
It's like think about the state docks down in Mobile. That is what the majority of the city of Volos looks like. A lot of big shipping crates being moved by gigantic cranes.
If you were to compare Greece to an SEC school, what would it be?
A&M. Just a bunch of weirdos that want you to know how great they are compared to everybody else.
Was there a lot of guys walking around in like white jumpsuits, kind of try to sell you timeshares there in Greece?
Yeah, a lot of dudes in all white on the back, smoking on the back of their Vespas. You know, like what you think of when you think of College Station, Texas, right?
Yeah, the Vespa, that got me. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let's start with this ongoing fiasco that is LSU football. Now we have a lawsuit that it's going to go into the wonderful courts in the state of Louisiana. Boy, that can't be crooked at all, can it? Your thoughts on Brian Kelly and this mess now.
Boy, the lawsuit itself, or I guess the attempt to say that Brian Kelly was fired with cause, boy, this reeks of the governor did a little too much and now they have to save face, right? Like, I don't know how they ever thought they were going to claw back any of that $53 million. And they're getting desperate, right? And this, I don't know if this would turn off top-tier candidates. At the end of the day, it's LSU, the state of Louisiana, puts out more NFL prospects per capita than any other state in the country. That's a pretty appealing thing, but you are walking into a mess if you are taking that job. It is really hard to ignore that, especially like today when they just keep piling on evidence that they are not, I don't want to say not serious because that's not fair, but they certainly are not organized about this.
Do you think that Brian Kelly ever coaches again?
Why would he? He's 64 years old. I think that if you get that $53 million buyout, what was it that Ed Orgeron said about $19 million? Tell me what time you want me out the door, boss. Yeah. Like I don't think that, even though this did not end the way he wanted it to, I don't think Brian Kelly is going to be like Jimbo Fisher and, keep putting his name out there for stuff. I think Kelly is a pretty savvy dude and realizes it's probably over for him. There is one open job that I think he might be a fit for, but it's the only situation I think would make sense, and that's Stanford. Otherwise, and I don't know why you're going to move across the country to take the Stanford job, especially when they play in the ACC. So I think he's done.
Okay. It's very interesting when you look at it. Who is more likely to coach again in some capacity? Is it Hugh Freeze or Brian Kelly?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that Brian Kelly would be more likely to have the option to coach again. Hugh Freeze is such a
There's health considerations there. I'm just saying, let's just say Hugh, he's able to, good Lord willing, beat cancer, eliminate that. But all right, so all things being equal, which scenario is more likely?
All things being equal, I guess you would have to say Hugh is more likely just because of age considerations and because of that community of people in athletic departments that got traded back and forth between Baylor and Liberty. You got to think there's some loyalty there that if one of those guys landed elsewhere, maybe Hugh would get a look. But I think if you're asking me just based on what they could each bring to a program, I would think it's Kelly. It's just, to me, the age is the determining factor here that makes me say Freeze.
All right, let's talk about the college football playoff rankings that are going to come out tonight. I know there probably wasn't any kind of heartburn last week. We don't think there's going to be that big of a shakeup on the top of the rankings. But what's your feelings on the ACC? Because I thought the committee sent a strong message to the ACC as a whole last week that you guys are in serious trouble, more than likely only being a one-bid league come to CFP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is any way they are anything more than a one-bid league. There's been a lot of talk up here in North Carolina this week about the very real possibility they are a no-bid league because, at the end of the day, the college football playoff is just going to take the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. And if James Madison goes through with only one loss, and that loss is to Louisville, and then Duke ends up in the ACC championship game because they have 4 losses, but only one of them is in conference, and they win the conference, how are you not going to take the American champ and James Madison as opposed to the ACC champ if we are talking about an 8-4 Duke team that, they have lost all those games out of conference. None of them are particularly impressive. I mean, I guess Tulane is one that you could sort of say, okay, maybe they got overmatched there, but they also are not going to walk out with any particularly impressive wins. So I think it's pretty easy to pass them over.
How much greater is the parity when we look at probable college football playoff contenders, participants? How much more parity do you believe there is in that potential field versus last year's? Because I think there's a good bit more.
Yeah, I think there is more parity. I also think that there is sort of a clump of the top 6 teams that I would feel a lot better about than everybody else. But I really think that within those 6, and we're talking the 2 Big Ten teams, A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, I don't know that I necessarily feel any better about Ole Miss, who I would put at 6, than I do about Indiana, who I would put at 1. I think you're dead on, Landrum. There's a lot of parity. It may be tiered, but within those tiers, there is some parity that makes it a little bit more fun to watch and a little less fun probably to bet on this year.
All right, so I have a question for you. You being a good Alabama graduate, most indicators say that if Alabama beats Oklahoma, they're 97% lock for the college football playoff. That's even if you lose to Auburn. But if you were guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff, that you win this week against Oklahoma, but you lose in the Iron Bowl, would you take that for a guarantee of the CFP, a loss to Auburn in the Iron Bowl?
No. Losing to Auburn, beating Auburn never feels as good as losing to them feels bad. I would take that over a trip to the CFP. If you're telling me national championship guarantee, okay, we'll talk. But a trip to the playoff, no thank you.
Okay, so you would not trade a CFP berth for a loss at Auburn?
No, I would consider a loss at against Eastern Illinois, though.
Okay. All right. So that's on the table. All right.
Yeah, just for the story, just for the kick.
Oh, man. All right, Demetri, Indiana, let's just say they do the improbable. They win it all. Is that not, I guess, where would it rank for you as most incredible college sports stories all time?
It's pretty good. And Landrum, I'll tell you right now, this is what the college football bubble bath is about this week, because it's not about Indiana clearly being the best team. It is, if you want to talk about team of destiny, there is a lot that is lining up for Indiana that lined up for Alabama in 2009 that makes it hard for me not to buy into this team of destiny thing, right? They have to have a last-second save-your-ass play against an obviously inferior team, all right, just like Terrence Cody with the block against Tennessee. They are led by a Heisman frontrunner on offense. Guy comes in and completely changes the culture at head coach, and they are staring down a collision course with the defending national champion in their conference championship game. Like, this feels like it is written in the stars that this is going to happen for Indiana this year.
So how nervous are you this weekend against Oklahoma? Or you feel confident?
After the game against LSU, very nervous. I don't know what it is that the Crimson Tide has to do to make up for the fact that the running game can't get going. But, boy, it seems like if you are Ryan Grubb and you are scheming up some sort of way to turn short passes and screen throws into the new running game, the last person I would want to run into is Brent Venables, who's creative enough to sniff that out and put an end to it immediately. I have a lot of faith in Simpson when he wants to go downfield, but if the defense knows that is what is coming every single time, it makes it really hard to have success.
Quick, before we let you go, I give you the choices of Iowa, Oklahoma, and Kansas. You got to spend the rest of your life living in one of those states. Which one are you going and why?
This is tough. Do I get to pick where in the state I am, or do I assume the most boring part of the state?
You can either way. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
if
I get to pick where I am, I think I'm going Kansas because I can live on the border of Kansas City, and at least that is a metropolis of some sort.
Okay.
If I don't get to pick where I'm going, give it to me again. It's Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to Oklahoma, and I'm going to move in with my buddy Tyler McComas and his wife.
That's a good call right there.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
I hope they have a bathtub.
I have guaranteed it. That, in fact, you know what? When I get off the phone with you guys, I'm going to call them and just make sure that's the case. And then I'll show up and say, look, I'm sorry, Tyler. Landrum said this has to happen.
That's right.
all right, Meat. Well, enjoy the week, and we'll check in with you next Tuesday.
Thank you, boys. And let me say, before I go, thank you so much for not making me talk about my Carolina Panthers this week.
Hey, how was the flu, by the way?
That's
a lot like the Panthers
game on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Landrum both kind of felt weird, kind of felt bad after you were on last Tuesday. I think you had given us something through the phone lines. I don't know. We just didn't feel well.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said last week, my wife's a doctor. I'll check and see if that's probably how flu gets transmitted. I don't think anyone knows for sure whether that's true or not.
What does scarlet fever look like?
It's very red.
What does scarlet fever look like?
Yeah.
My only experience with scarlet fever is from reading The Velveteen Rabbit when I was a young man, and all I know is that all your toys have to get burned.
That's a good pull.
That's really good. All right, Demetri. Have a good week. We'll check in with you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Demetri.
All right, boys. Talk to you all later.
See you. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
A lot. We're going to get to college football news, coaching searches going on. Somebody else going to get fired. We continue. We're live from Social Taco in Homewood, right here on your home for college football and much more. Jocks.
You know, it's been a great crowd. We appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us. Some good old trustful folks, Rob and Denise Kane and Preston Kane. It's good old Liberty graduate.
You know a lot of nice people, and that's really refreshing.
Well, considering the fact that I'm not.
Well, but
I try to
they're nice
surround
people.
myself.
They take you in.
Yeah, I try to surround myself with good people.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I understand that you're going to ask me some questions about the MAC.
You bet I am. We got Maction tonight.
That's right.
And you are the guy that I turn to for Maction.
Okay.
When it comes to Prize Picks, you can join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app today. Conrad and myself, we actually won last night in professional football with our friends at Prize Picks. It's really simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get both picks right, you could cash in. Tonight we will go Maction. We're going to go with Akron, the Zips.
All right.
We know the weather is not going to be great, but they're used to it up there, right?
Okay.
Ben Finley. I've seen him in person with my own eyes. You have too. They played UAB. He's the Akron quarterback.
Not bad.
1.5 passing touchdowns. More or less?
I'm going to go more. He's got 15 on the season.
Okay. We're going to go more there.
Going to go more.
Do you want to go with, how about, oh, goodness. You want to go quarterback for the other one? Or?
Yeah, let's go the quarterback the other one.
All right. Who does Akron play again?
Kent State.
Kent State?
Yep.
Okay.
That'd be Drew DeShields.
I've got it as Tucker Gleason.
Okay. Well, DeShields must be hurt.
Okay. I've also got Drew DeShields. Which one do you want to go with?
Let's go DeShields.
All right, we'll go with Delano's cousin,
Yes.
Drew DeShields.
Yes, that's true.
188
Hey, did you know,
and a half.
speaking of that, did you know that Delano Shields' daughter played basketball at UAB a couple years ago?
No.
Yes. She
What?
transferred to Mississippi State
What?
2 years ago. Mhm.
Really?
And the reason I know that, tune in tonight to the Green and Gold Report during the halftime of the UAB basketball
You're
game.
so good. Drew DeShields, quarterback,
Okay.
Kent State, 188 and a half passing yards, more or less?
Oh, it's got to be less. He's only averaging 165 a game.
Okay.
Yeah, got to go less.
Just in case, though, Tucker Gleason, would you say – oh, excuse me. Never mind. That's a whole nother team.
It's a whole
all
nother
these
team.
All these teams, they run together in
All
the
the MAC teams look alike to
All
you.
right, so you're going to go less on DeShields, and we're going more on Finley.
Yes, more on Finley, more than 1.5, and going less on Drew DeShields from Kent State, the sophomore quarterback.
See, it's just that easy. No, I'm kidding. I made that difficult. Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX. $50 in lineups after the first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's going to be right.
All right, so I have an update. Matt Moscona, our good friend from ESPN Radio down in Baton Rouge, he has just updated this Brian Kelly story. Just going to read this directly from LouisianaSports.net that he also works for in his free time. He says, LSU claims former athletic director Scott Woodward acted without approval from the LSU Board of Supervisors in his handling of Brian Kelly's final days. In a lawsuit filed against the LSU Board of Supervisors on Monday by Kelly's lawyers, LSU informed the coach that Woodward did not have the authority to fire him. Kelly's representatives also disclosed in the lawsuit that LSU believed grounds for termination for cause existed. Kelly is now suing LSU for $54 million, the full amount of the buyout. Now, Matt Moscona points out that as athletics director, Woodward's scope of work included hiring and firing coaches. Now, if a coach earns $250,000 or more, which Kelly did, board approval is required for termination according to the LSU Board of Supervisors bylaws, Section 1, Article 7, subsection L. According to LSU, Woodward did not have the approval on October 26th when he informed Kelly that he was being terminated. 4 days later, Woodward and LSU parted ways. This is where it gets interesting. Kelly's representation at LSU entered a buyout negotiation in the hours that followed Woodward's initial decision. According to the lawsuit, LSU offered Kelly a lump sum of $25 million and later upped the offer to 2 payments totaling $30 million. Kelly rejected both, but indicated in an email obtained by WAFB television that he was open to your desire to reach a settlement of what's owed to me under the contract, although, of course, it would have to make sense financially, end of quote in the email. LouisianaSports.net has learned that Kelly's representatives countered LSU with a $43 million offer, which LSU then rejected. So LSU offered 25, a lump sum of $25 million. They said no. They came back and said, we'll give you $30 million, but we're going to pay you in two $15 million installments. Kelly said no, but Kelly came back to $43 million, and LSU said no. So this is where we are now in regards to the lawsuit.
All right, so the thing that I would take issue with Woodward did not have the authority to fire him, but did Brian Kelly know that? You just get told by your superior, the guy that hired you, that you no longer have a job. Then your key fob reportedly doesn't work to get back in the building. I don't really understand the grounds that you're standing on if you're LSU there. Now, if there's other stuff that they're looking into, that would be grounds for, for cause. I get that. But the first part of the argument, if I'm Brian Kelly's people, I'm going, what's he supposed to think?
Yeah, I'm trying to see when Frank Wilson was named interim coach. He was named coach on the 28th of October.
Okay.
Which was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And all that happened on a Sunday night where Kelly showed up at the facility. Remember, it broke Sunday night at like 8 o'clock. But Wilson was not named interim until Tuesday. I'm trying to think of the timeline in regards to, did they say, well.
And when did the governor and all these other people start getting together?
I think the governor said what he did. Was that not on?
I thought it was Saturday night or Sunday.
It was Sunday.
Okay.
Because Saturday night was the Texas A&M beatdown.
Saturday is when he was in the press box or the suites or whatever trying to get people to want to fire Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
well, it looks like it was, if you're outside of the situation, it looks like it was a knee-jerk reaction. You fired your coach, and then you went, oh, crap, how are we going to pay him all this money? That's what it looks like.
Okay, so on the 26th, which was Sunday, he was relieved of his duties. On Wednesday, October the 29th, is when Governor Landry criticized Scott Woodward publicly. And then, of course, Woodward resigned under pressure immediately. So the 26th, which is, again, on Sunday, Kelly was fired. And then on Wednesdays when the governor started running his mouth.
And we're getting texts, and we've heard this from other LSU fans. We heard Sean Fox, not calling him an LSU fan, but he's there in Louisiana. And this LSU fan texts in and says, I'm an LSU fan. Look, you dug the grave, pay the man, and be done with it.
I was about to say, if his initial buyout was, let's say, the $30 million that they were talking about in the settlement, do we think we're having this conversation right now?
No.
I don't either.
No. That 53 number, that resonates.
But I go back to something Landrum brought up, and it was a great question earlier in the show when we were talking about this originally. So if you come to him and ask for a settlement, right? If you feel like you've got the goods on him for whatever violation in your contract, whether it's moral turpitude or you broke an NCAA rule here, whatever the case may be, why would you offer him any money at all?
No. Say, look, we're not going to even consider entertaining any of this. We're going to get to the bottom of this. You might not get anything.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go to him with $30 million. It's a bad look, and it's a terrible look because it's in the wake of not only you firing your coach. It's been a disappointing season for the LSU fan base, but now what people considered, and I still do, I think it's the best open job that's out there. But given the circumstances, now you potentially got to question that.
Mm-hmm.
Are the inmates running it?
I mean, does that look like a situation that Lane Kiffin would feel comfortable being in?
No. I think he appreciates the stability, personal life and work life that he's got there in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Asking, you shall receive. Everything's good here.
Yeah. When we come back on Three-Man Front, we'll do some Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. This is Three-Man Front live from Social Taco on Jocks. It is 1:32. It's been a great day at Social Taco. It's been, my goodness, there's not an empty seat up here right now. We appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us here at Social Taco. Each and every day I come up with 5 questions. They give me their answers. Brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponder.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. 9 acres of inventory. You can buy and see them right off of I-459, exit 32. You can also peruse their inventory online at courtesybirmingham.com. Question number 1. Today is Veterans Day, the day we honor all of those who served in the U.S. military living and deceased. If you had chosen a career in the military, which branch of service would you have preferred?
Oh. Well, there's different branches I could have chose. I would have wanted to be a pilot.
Okay. So you possibly could have been in the Navy. You could have been in the Air Force.
Army, technically. Mm-hmm. All the branches.
But you wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
If you had gone that
that's
route.
something I still want to do. I don't want to have my own plane. But I do want to go through pilot training and get some hours with an instructor, because I have a fascination with all
flight.
Yeah, with flight.
That's a good one. Man, I'm going to get flack for this. People are going to ridicule me. Not for what I picked, but because they're like, you would never make it here. I would go for the Marines, 100%. If I'm going in the military, I'm going for it. Like, I want to be the top-of-the-line soldier. So, yeah, I would go for the Marines. I know a lot of people, well, you can't even change a tire. You couldn't be a Marine. Probably not. That's why I'm on the radio. But, yeah, I'm going Marines.
I'd go Air Force. Kind of like the route of Landrum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine Conrad at Paris Island? All the sand fleas. I think there's some aspects, though, of boot camp that would fit Conrad.
Like shaving his head?
Yeah, shaving his head.
That could work. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be worried about any, I guess, unfortunate bathroom situations, right? Like that kind of stuff I'm good with, so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I think I would handle well.
You wouldn't have time to stomp anything with those.
That's right.
With those showers that you're going to take. I mean, you're in and out. Boom. It's right back at it.
You're right.
Conrad might be subject to a code red, but.
Well, not like our dear Private Santiago suffered, right?
Yeah, not to that extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Don't forget about Coast Guard, too, though. A buddy who served in the Coast Guard reminds you that that's military.
Absolutely.
I wasn't saying you. I was saying anybody.
Okay.
That's an option.
I'd have gone Army.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, question number 2. So the Athletic yesterday posted their potential bowl matchups and had an interesting game slated for the Birmingham Bowl. North Carolina versus Tulane. So I pondered, who has a better chance of being in the Magic City on December 29th? Is it Jordan Hudson or John Sumrall?
One more time.
North Carolina and Tulane are slated now, according to the Athletic, to play in the Birmingham Bowl. Who is more likely on December 29th to be in Birmingham? Would it be Jordan Hudson, the girlfriend of Bill Belichick, or John Sumrall, the current head coach of the Tulane Green Wave?
I think it's Jordan Hudson.
Okay.
And I hope we run into her like we did Dana Holgerson.
In the hotel.
Well, the elevator way.
Oh.
I hope she's a lot friendlier. Something tells me she won't be.
See, I'm going. Well, it would be funny to see Jordan Hudson. I don't know if North Carolina is going to be able to win 2 more games and get to bowl eligibility.
I don't know if they're going to be bowl eligible.
So I would go John Sumrall, and you kind of get 2 for 1 for that, right? Because maybe he's the head coach of Tulane. Maybe he's the head coach of another program, and he's just getting acclimated to the Magic City, greater Birmingham area. So, yeah, I'm going John Sumrall.
I'm also going John Sumrall because, sorry, Jordan and Bill and North Carolina, but I don't know if you guys are going to be bowl eligible, so need 2 more wins.
Did you see there was some alleged beef, I guess, over the weekend or recently between Bill Belichick's daughter-in-law and Jordan Hudson, where apparently they were both at the North Carolina game and they weren't.
Oh, let me tell you,
they weren't being friendly with each
can't
other.
Stand that girl.
Yeah,
she can't. She hasn't even been on the fence since word go. She does not like that girl.
Yep. You hate to see that. Really do. Families being torn apart. It's awful.
I don't know if they're being torn apart. I just don't think that she cares for her father-in-law's girlfriend.
I'm going to bet the majority of Bill's family doesn't care for Jordan Hudson. That's just me going out on a limb, though.
No.
All right, question number 3. I just told you a story last hour about the Big Ten and some problems brewing. It appears that this conference is starting to eat itself and ripping itself from the inside between Michigan and USC being threatened now by the Big Ten Conference if they don't sign a private equity infusion deal that the other 16 schools are on board with. So if the schools don't sign, they could possibly lose their spot in the Big Ten in 2036. So the question is, if USC Michigan left and started a new conference, who would be the ideal teams to join two of the bigger brands in college football?
Michigan and USC.
There's one that's so apparent.
Notre Dame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So who else? Michigan, Notre Dame, and USC.
I'd like to see Miami there.
Possible.
I mean, with those names, you got to throw Texas in there, right? I'm not saying I want to see them leave the SEC. I'm just thinking about personalities, fits. You got
Big brands.
Michigan and their arrogance, University of Spoiled Children with theirs.
See, that would seem like a perfect fit for like an Oregon to say, you
Yeah.
know what, this Big Ten travel, let's go to this other conference and still have to travel but not be in the Big Ten.
I'd put Notre Dame if they would agree to it. If they would even want to join a conference.
You could
And
even
some-
name it the Notre Dame Conference.
You could, yeah.
And everybody's got to have one in the conference. Let's go ahead and let's let Sacramento State in.
Jeepers.
They got money just waiting to spend.
See, I'd rather see Texas A&M go and keep Texas here. Just let Texas A&M go.
Any obvious that we're missing?
Oh, Washington State and Oregon State, duh.
To me, it's if those teams started their own, those three teams started their own conference. This is just me.
Oh, you're going to go.
You would then have Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia, and probably one other, might be Miami, out of the ACC. They would join in a heartbeat. They would be gone. So right there, there's 7 teams right out of the gate, and then throw in, potential West Coast, another West Coast team.
And call them the Great Eight.
Sure.
Maybe Clemson wants to join.
Yeah?
Yeah, the ACC would be absolutely.
It would basically just be
Clemson.
ACC 2.0.
Yeah.
Clemson, Florida State, Virginia's like, hey, what about us?
Yep. No doubt.
No, that's good. What about Liberty for good measure?
I just don't think so. Not on them.
Liberty, how would you like to go 0-12 every season?
But play in prime time.
That's right. That's right. The revenue sharing is going to be off the charts, but you might not ever win another game.
Here's the thing. I don't know if Liberty's a school you could entice with money. Apparently
No.
they print it there.
Nope.
All right, our final question of the day comes courtesy of BB, who's still recovering from her knee surgery. Hope to see her back here at Social Taco very soon. She writes, statistics show that people touch their face about 800 times a day. Now that you know this, will you consciously try to not touch your face?
Yes. Well, it's germs. It's germ season. It's always germ season, but it's germs. I will try. But see, I have.
Does that seem like a lot, 800 times
800
in a day?
times seems like a lot. But I also heard it. Also heard that the average human has 20,000 thoughts per day, and 18,000 of them are negative.
I thought you were going to say impure.
That's
Somebody-
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say impure.
Well, this was a stat I heard at church, so it could have been included in impure. Impure. Unpure. Impure.
Okay, so now that I've told you that 800 times a day stat about your face, you're not going to touch your face.
No, and I really need to right now.
You're just like dying to touch your face.
I got to blow my nose. Does that count?
Yeah, if you touch your face, yeah, you're touching your face. How about you, Conrad Molly? What do you think?
That's like 5 times right there.
I mean, that
That's a lot.
shocker. Germs don't really bother me, so obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that stuff doesn't matter to me at all. The only time I ever think, it just doesn't. The only time I ever think about that is like Never mind, I'm not going to say that. But
No,
you
go
know,
ahead.
there's just certain times where you're like, okay, yeah, I need to wash my hands after that and not touch my face. But
I touch my
like
face.
if I'm cooking raw chicken
Divinals, Australian
or
group.
something.
You're so good at that.
Yep. They didn't get that.
No, we did not.
Just do a search during the break.
Okay.
On the Divinals.
I mean, I try not to touch my face, but now I feel like I do more because of that stat.
See, I feel like now that Pat shared that Landrum, like y'all are going to turn into like Howard Hughes, if you've ever seen The Aviator, and you're just going to lock yourself in your house and start peeing in mason jars and stuff and not touching anything.
You're assuming we don't do that already.
You know what, Pat? Yes, I am assuming you don't do that already.
That was a good pull by me, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm.
Australian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yep. Turns out that song is exactly what you thought it was about.
Absolutely. What did you think it was about?
I don't know, but I think it's really inappropriate that as a 8-year-old, I'm hearing that in my dentist office as I'm getting my teeth cleaned.
Okay, give me the name of the song again.
I touch myself.
Well, I think that one pretty much explains itself in the title.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
So you heard that at the dentist office.
Ooh, Landrum, what dentist did you go to?
You would hear soft rock.
Can you slide me a recommendation to this dentist office?
That was right after Steve Winwood, right before the Bolton set.
Oh, Roll With It by Steve Winwood. Roll with it, baby. That rolled right into the Divinals, I Touch Myself.
Come on. Was she in the group? Or
She was the lead singer.
Oh, she was?
She was the lead singer.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I probably sold a lot of records in 1990.
I looked up the lyrics to that. Yeah, pretty on the nose.
All right.
All right, that's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Goodbye, and see them as soon as possible, or look at their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com.
Some of your attacks we'll get to as we wrap it all up. 3-man front live from Social Taco in Homewood.
Welcome back into Three-Man Front here on a Taco Tuesday. Pat and Landrum down at Social Taco there in Homewood. Make sure, stop by. They'll still be there for a few more minutes while we try to get reconnected with them in the final minutes of today's program. But we appreciate you joining us each and every day here on Jocks, your home for, of course, college football, but much, much else. We had a great show for you so far today. If you missed any of our interviews, make sure you go check them out at the Jocks podcast section on jocksfm.com or wherever you get your podcast. We had Mike Griffith on, as we do each and every Tuesday, talking a little bit about the college football playoff rankings tonight, giving some of his thoughts, saying Alabama's biggest challenge between them and a spot in the playoff is maybe Auburn, more so than Oklahoma. We also had Tyler McComas on, joining us from Norman to preview that game between Alabama and Oklahoma. Sean Fox from Louisiana joining us to talk about the Brian Kelly LSU mess right now, as they are in a legal battle as it currently stands. And then, of course, just minutes ago, we had Demetri Ravanos on to give us kind of his overall viewpoints of things going on in the SEC. And now we have Pat and Landrum back with us there at Social Taco in Homewood. Hey, guys.
Hey, it's still a very festive time here in the Taco Terrace at Social Taco. You can join us every single Tuesday. We're here from 10 until 2, but after that, make your way over. If you can't make it during the confines of the show, you can enjoy the half-off happy hour, 3 to 6 Monday through Friday, and the bottomless tapas brunch on the weekend, 10 to 2:30 on Saturday, 10 to 2:30 on Sunday, socialtaco.bar. For more information, a lot of your texts rolling in on the Jocks text line, 205-834-9450. This one rolling in, talking about Auburn. Says, dang, Auburn about to break the bank. Never seen an athletic director in that good of a mood during the coaching search. I think this listener is referencing Mike Gittens, who joined the show yesterday, who covers Auburn with the War Report. He had the sit-down that he told us he was going to have with Auburn Athletics Director John Cohen. Someone saying, I think it was the band Garbage that did Touch Myself. Well, they might have done a remake, but the vinyls, Pat was spot on. Steve in Tuscaloosa says he can see Molly in Space Force working satellite communications. Conrad, you would make a great Marine. They would break the young man you see right now, turn Conrad into a nail-chewing devil dog that can change a tire.
See, I feel like it would be good. It'd be good for me.
Hey, there's still an opportunity.
I do Space Force.
Space Force would be cool.
And not to mention, Molly, it's supposed to be moving to Huntsville.
Yeah, I'd be back closer to family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay here. I like this job.
There was a Marines documentary that came out just yesterday. I think it released, and it was the birthday of the Marines. That's why they released it on that date. But it's a 4-part documentary on Marines and their operations, if you want to check that out. Happy Veterans Day.
You need to check out the James Garfield Netflix.
Oh, the series, the 2 that history forgot. The guy from Succession's in it.
Oh, yeah. No, the cast is incredible.
Okay, I'm going to check it out.
Did you ever watch Boardwalk Empire on HBO?
Oh, that show was awesome.
About half the cast of Boardwalk Empire
In this.
is in this.
Is what's his name? Steve Buscemi? Is he in it?
No, he is not.
Okay.
But the guy that played his brother,
Yeah.
he plays in this.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
then
Boardwalk
obviously
Empire was awesome.
One of the main characters of this Garfield Netflix, he played in Boardwalk Empire.
I think Conrad to the Marines is getting some traction. Someone, Mitch says, think about the jelly donut scene.
Yeah, I figured there might be a couple Full Metal Jacket references after I said that.
Crimson Convict, Conrad would not work in the motor pool.
No, I would not. No, I would not.
Posey asked the questions, what would a Navy SEAL do to him the first time that Conrad dropped a waffle in the shower?
Might be a good tactic to keep the enemy away from you. You never know.
Or the SEAL comes out and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. private van order. He must have slipped and hit his head. Call the morgue. Well, we appreciate all of our great listeners. All of you out there, all the folks here, just hanging out in the Taco Terrace. We're going to leave. They're just going to keep hanging out. So
Yes.
apparently the draw wasn't us. It was
It's the great food.
these people
What are you
getting
talking
together.
about?
It is the great food. The chicken feathers. I'm going to take the rest home with me. You're not going to
should.
eat some more. You're going to blow away. You better eat. Come on.
I'm good.
You saving room for the turkeys?
Yes.
Gary's going to smoke for you?
Yes, I got 2 turkeys in my car right now. About to go meet Gary and let him do his magic.
Coming up tomorrow, coaching search, Auburn, LSU, Florida. That continues. Alabama, Oklahoma, we continue to preview that matchup, the other big matchups around the SEC. For all of our guests, from Pat, myself, all the folks here at Social Taco, Molly and Conrad, I'm Landrum. God is great. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.